Good afternoon. Welcome to a live presentation of our current affairs program, this week's edition of 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Erosa Agbolao. Today's program promises to be exciting because this is an election here in Edo State and of course in Ondo State. In Edo State, it is very important we know the nitty-gritty of politicking by the different political parties and of course the goings on. But on this week's edition, the focus will be on youths and election violence. We are going to x-ray the role of the youths in elections. And of course, what are the causes of violence during elections? And why are the youths engrossed in these very wrong norm? Well, I'll be having two guests today, but already in the studio, we have a legal practitioner, a chartered arbitrator, a human rights activist, and of course, we are talking about Barrister Patrick Isiekwene. Barrister Patrick, nice to have you on the program
today. Good afternoon, via the IPV.
Okay, so like I said, we are looking at youths and election violence. How do we actually avoid problems before, during, and after elections, especially as it relates to Edo elections, Ondo elections, around the corner? Let's start with you, Patrick. Now, we discover that the youth seems to be are the ones involved in forgery, are the ones involved in most of this violence. Why so?
I think the reason is not too far-fetched, in the sense that the youths, they are the gallant in any society.
How do you mean by gallant?
Yeah, they are active type. They are youthful age. They are very, very active. They are not passive, unlike the old men. They're like snail. But these people, they are more or less digital computer. So they are very restless. That's why they're always taking up arms. Make all the noise, the charlatanness, hula balloon, everything is being spearheaded by them. But you see, it's like, I look at the youth like a car, a vehicle. You see, but without the machine, cannot move. When I say machine, there are people behind the scene. The adults who are not gallant, they prepare them to carry all these activities.
Yeah, you're talking about the senile, the elderly ones.
Yes, of course. Yes.
They are supposed to be role models to the youths. So why this problem? Why are they now instigating the youths or engaging the youths in violence during elections?
Yes, I think it's just political. It's a kind of intimidation to intimidate the other opposition party, whereby to tell people they will be scared, letting people know that they are in charge. So I think it's political, it's multidimensional. That's the truth of the matter. So you see, when you hear gunshots everywhere,
yes,
naturally the masses will be scared. When you hear gunshot, it's not when you hear gunshot, make people panic. Those who are supposed to vote, those who are supposed to take care of things, they will be scared to do so. So the main thing is that to let them know that this is the happening party, we are in charge, this is that, to scare away people. To raise the issue of panicking. Nothing more than that. So that those in opposition, their opponent will be scared of making it any issue of any trouble. They'll be scared because they fear that there's a youth in the other side that are well armed. Nothing more than that.
But are youths, or are you saying that youths can overwhelm security agencies?
See,
because during election,
yes, you see, but let me tell you,
agencies,
yes,
we have
yes,
representatives of security
yes,
agencies, we have security personnel.
Yes.
So can youths overwhelm them?
Why not? No, the same is clear, make it to be so. Because, not to be sincere with you, the security agencies you see there are mere observers. Yes, they're mere observers. They're not scared of them. Okay. Because you know that they're there to provide security as a observer. They're not expected to carry arm. You know you have to. You know the rules of surviving an election. As a security agent, you have to keep some minds away, and you're expected to be involved. So the youth can just come and do a lot of things there. They are armed. You expect a policeman to. You expect not to shoot. You expect not to do anything. You want is solely to observe because it's an election. So it's unlike the normal issue of rioting to queer rioting.
Okay.
You see, so the policeman is not supposed to do anything shooting.
Okay.
That's the truth of the matter.
Okay,
but
I'll come back to you, Patrick Sekwene. We also have in the studio a very highly respected clergyman who also gives us his own perspective on this issue because election is going to happen in Edo State, election is going to happen in Ondo State. Why are youths involved in violence during elections? I will be introducing my next guest after this break. During the break, we brought you fundamental statement, the creation of the management of independent television and radio. Very timely. You can see those comments and you can relate them to what is happening in Nigeria today. Just joining us is Apostle Elvis Agbonayima. He's been here before and he's a clergyman and he will be giving us his own perspective on this topic, youths and election violence. Let's just get his comments now. Apostle Elvis, why are youths instruments of violence, especially during elections?
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
The reason why the youth are used, because the politicians, our fathers who are involved, they can't carry weapons. They need the youth to carry weapons.
Okay.
For example, if you look at those people now that are out there canvassing now, majority of the people are youth. Because the youth are young in blood. They are very useful. And that's why you see a lot of politicians take advantage of our youthfulness. Because they know, if you even go to social media, the people that are always making noise, causing a lot of things over there, they are youth. The politicians, the elders, they know the importance of the young ones. And that's why they use them. I use the word use them because you can't use me, I'm a youth.
Okay.
You know, and the youth too, they should also know that life has no duplicate. Just like what happened recently in front of our Oba, respected Oba Palace.
Yes.
Assuming those people, they died. You are gone and you are gone forever. And that is not why God created you. As a youth, you have a purpose. You know, people used to say that, you know, fool at 40 is fool forever. But now I've discovered that fool at 21 is fool forever. You know, some people will say, you know, there's an adage that people used to say that we are leaders of tomorrow. No, we are leaders of today. Your leadership begins today, now. Now, because the elders, our fathers, know the importance of the youth, because there are many things that will happen. You know, when we talk about violence, who are the people that we, you know, that we involve in it? They are the youth. Because, you know, I was telling some persons some few days back, some youth, I said, most of these politicians that we push you to go and do these things, if they want to reconcile within themselves, they will not invite you. Because if they want to settle within themselves, they don't need your opinion. Overnight, they can just become friends, because these politicians, they are friends. Just that they you know, they take advantage of the ignorance of so many youth. You know, because they know how versatile the youth can be. If it comes to fighting, if it comes to shooting gun, for example, the youth are the one to do it. They know how important you are. And that's why they take advantage of your ignorance as a youth. You know, that is the reason.
Okay, I'll come back to you. But Mr. Patrick, you are a human rights activist, so you move with the youths a lot.
yes.
Yes. Now, just recently, like Apostle Elvis made a remark. Yeah, that's the footage now. Youths were involved again in unruly behavior, and it happened outside the palace gate. And we are very happy that His Royal Majesty Omonobana Edokwa Akpolokpolo Obaewa II Oba of Benin has condemned the unruly behavior of our youths outside his palace gate. So, how do we really curb this problem of youth restiveness, youths getting involved in violence, from your own perspective?
Yes, first of all, I'll comment on that. what happened last time at the Oba Palace, the shooting there between between the youth of different sections. I think it's highly condemnable. It's an aberration, and it's not a thing that someone will support. There's no man of goodwill that has a good heart for the state will support such a thing. It's forbidden. It's unheard. Even the president of the respected Oba, where it's supposed to be a protection house. It's not a big.
It was outside the palace.
Outside the palace, but outside it's still within. Within the issue, you have to respect the Oba. So it will be able to tell you the rottenness of our youth to the extent they've gone. Now, yes, the issue is that from privileged information, I'm privileged because of my experience. I was the former chairman of the Democracy Monitoring Committee of Justice Development and Peace Commission of JDPC. I was one of the chairman of JDPC, one of the parishes, and also I am involved in the sales of election observing both international and local. Talk about street counts. I represent Nigeria Bank Station, NBA. I was involved. So many. I was observed severally. I've seen a lot of things happening in polling units. So you see, so all I'm trying to say is that nobody can stop the youth in carrying on certain things. Even like I told you that the best that issue of security agencies is more or less advanced than an observer. We are even stronger than them. They're supposed not to do anything. To keep away from the election, there's some minds that they take away and observe. There's nothing to carry on. So you see the people will come around, youth come in different arms of federal kind, come there, start ballot boxes and go their way. They don't do anything. The only way the police are expected to shoot is self-defense. Part of their life is being threatened. They didn't want to come there and start shooting people, killing people. No. It's democracy to observe. So the only people who they fear, they're scared of, which mandate is very different, is the army, the military. With one of the places I observed, I was there. The army man said, the Messi said, if the boss lives here today, if anybody want to try it, they say I want to commit suicide. Let them come. They were scared. They never tried. The election of nobody. And they will kill you. I said they want to commit suicide. Come and try it. Yeah. Everybody will maintain. Then when you tell police for where? They will go with the board. Nothing will happen. They will come there if they are proper. If they know that it's a stronghold. I'm telling you what's happening there. We observe the election in 4 hours. Not just say I'm saying yeah. If the election is winning there, your opponent, they just send their people. They just put their mark coming. Go to the ballot boxes or they destroy everything. It's funny. We have never had a free and fair election in this country. I won't lie to you. When your opponent is a stronghold, people just come there, tear out everything, and move to the ballot boxes because you expect to lead them. I was in one polling unit one day when some people came, a coastal bus full of ballot papers. There they came from the vehicle like Ghana must go black, up to 100. Already know that they were losing the people into the ballot boxes. Everything.
We saw the footage.
Yes, destroyed.
Past election.
Already to put everything. At the end of the day, know what they said? They said, who is even here? They now said, this is our observer. Say, leave them. You better go to observer. Then no, forget about them. You see, they loaded everything. They not about 2 hours. And then like official came. Say, just to make sure there is a peace in this unit. Oh, they say most peaceful unit. Everybody, they're all scared. So at the end of the day, I wrote my report that what happened there is what an armed robbery. They are the worst kind of. I wrote my report was never taken serious. You know, today, so when by election was all year and year, people risk their life and said that they don't do anything with it.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Yes, Apostle Elvis Agbanayima, what's the way forward?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that question.
Yes.
You know, the religious body has to come out.
Okay. So they have a role to play.
The religious body, the men of God, at this time has a major role to play.
Okay.
You know, we have to help our flocks. Because a lot of youth under our leadership, they are not aware. You know, sometimes ignorance is not an excuse, we know, but a lot of politicians take advantage of their ignorance. Yeah. Because assuming one politician, popular, want to send you a suicide mission, I believe he will not send his son to be part of it. He will not, because he's trying to preserve and protect the future of his son. Meanwhile, he's sending you to go and die. Now, this is where the religious body has to come out. Like in my ministry, by the grace of God, I talk to my youth. Okay. I tell them, don't allow anybody to use you, because if you die, you are finished. Because you as a youth, you have a purpose. You have a purpose why God created you. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, depend on what you desire to be. Now, before now, our spiritual leader, used to like, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, I don't want to be involved. We have to be involved now. We have to talk to our people.
Guys, you mean religious leaders will be involved in politics now?
No, involved in counseling.
Okay.
Letting the flocks know that you don't need to allow your blood is not what the ambition of any politician.
That's Dr. Goodluck Jonathan.
Your blood is not what the ambition of any politician. Be who the person is.
Okay.
No matter what the person is bringing. Therefore, if you have to play politics, do it with wisdom. Because if you lose your life, your parents, I believe your parents, don't let your parents shed tears because of you. Because imagine what people around have put in you. Your parents and even your guardians and all that. Now, because of one man, you just lose your life for nothing. The highest they could do to you is to visit you, visit your family, and pay them because they visit, and that's the day. Now, that's why our spiritual leader, we should not, stay away from what is happening now.
Okay.
Because most of the youth, majority of them belongs to one church or one religious body or the other. They are under, they have a pastor, they have imam, they respect. Therefore, this is the time for the spiritual leader to speak.
Okay. You
get it now? Now, because a lot of things are happening. Now, and there are many people who are believing that there will be war. In Edo State, there will not be war. This forthcoming election will be peaceful. We are aware. Listen, all these lubalu, all these things they are trying to do to create a impression that there will be war. No war. Our youth must sit down and think that this man that is instigating me now, because if you go to some politicians, they will give them all manners of things to drink, to instigate them, to make you to start thinking behind, thinking unnecessary, because they know that naturally you cannot do those things, because naturally you cannot just carry a weapon. Yes. Therefore, they have to give you something to instigate you. Now, what they are giving you to eat, because to them they are giving you to go and die. Because they are not interested in your future. When I see young persons, youth, coming out on social media, begin to insult people because of another person, I nod my head. Now, what I'm trying to say, my own observation that I've observed, that a lot of many, the clergy, a lot of them before now used to stay out. But now, I'm happy because many of them are coming out now. They are coming out talking to our people, and I want to urge them to continue to talk, because me, I'm speaking, and my people, just like I said, no politician can come to my place of worship, want to use my youth, or want to bring money so that I can begin to talk. No. Okay. It's not possible.
Thank you, Apostle. Brother Patrick, now, how do we shun violence during election?
Yeah, I think the best way, they say the best teacher is experience. Yeah. So I think the best way is that I think government have a role to play. Okay. Government role is 80%. 20% for the mass. Government role is 80% because they are in charge. For example, what happened at the Olympic Palace last time. Up till now, I've never heard anything from the government. Because, see, if it's clear, because the issue, the primary duty of the government is the security and the welfare of the people. By virtue of Section 14, Section 2, first of all, our Constitution says, Section 14, first one said, Nigeria shall be a state built on democracy and social justice. Then two being national issue of welfare, security and welfare is the primary purpose of the government. That is the primary purpose. Any government that will not able to stop the issue of security and welfare, security of the people, that government does not want to be. The power that have been given to government, issue of security. Then this happened last time, up till now, I have never heard this is the government position.
But don't you think investigation is going?
No. You see,
because
what I mean,
is going
see,
on.
what I mean,
wait for the investigation.
This thing happened not just today. For any responsible government, at least the investigation can be done under 4 days. Because it's a serious, as a deterrent.
But I think we should not preempt government.
Yeah, the government says that we are not supposed to declare wanted in this matter. Nothing has been done. Everything they are doing, nothing happened. But whereby I am aware that some persons were shot and seen in the hospital, I expect such a people to keep calm. They're going to be retaliation. It is natural. So I expect government to play a role, bring those people to book, if they are about to book, and something to happen to them, it's a signal that other people want to that part.
Mr. Patrick, I think we shouldn't preempt.
No, I'm not preempting, but I expect the government to be proactive. Not in matter happen. Because Because how many days from now, okay, now anything that happen now, see, in issue of security,
yes.
you must be proactive.
Okay.
It's not a thing you don't keep there until that one happen. If it don't happen now, oh, you don't call a battle of a gun, it don't happen now. But make you proactive for saying people who are armed in the broad daylight, shooting people because of, I don't know, whether they protest, they go. See, let me tell you, sir, I think the government knows this too well as the president. The government has the duty to protect the life of the security of the life of the people should be supreme. It should be permanent attention of the governor. Because he's in charge, make sure security of the people. Now, Jonathan, they just mentioned him here. I don't know what happened. After visiting one of the MS in the north, on his way going, he was bull, using pure water to stone his everything. He had all the security apparatus in his hand. Under his commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But he never did that because he violated the constitution. You will get the security and the life of the people, you got to do to protect it.
But don't you think youth should shun that kind of unruly behavior?
And the nation say unruly behavior. The people they want to do what they did, nothing happened.
Let's not preempt.
No, I'm not saying preempt. I'm doing a traffic illness needs a traffic treatment.
Okay, let's wait for police.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I don't know. That's why. See. Look, I don't know.
Yes.
That's why you see people. You see some people above the law. That impunity, immunity, and nothing will happen.
Nobody's above the law.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
The pressure of the pressure of these youths. I know them. I said I'm privileged. I've been meeting. We are on the street. They come to us for help.
Yes.
And by virtue of my legal practice, I know what I'm talking about. Maybe nothing will happen. And I assure you that majority of these boys that go on this stage, these boys, I don't believe handle with kick globe. Majority of them are cultists. It's not going to handle with kick globe.
But it's not for us to
know, I'm saying yes.
But
they use them because they say backing protection. Nothing will happen.
The police, so we'll wait for police.
For us to solve such a problem, we must go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Yes, if you're trying to solve a problem and nothing happens, my brother, you have a fundamental problem.
Okay, thank you, Pastor.
So we should come back. Government should come and take a proactive action. Condemn them. That your people. No, I don't know.
Okay, but Patrick will come back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But we must say on this program that the comments of our guests are their personal opinion and not a reflection of this station. But we must wait for police investigation into the incident that happened outside the palace gate of the Oba of Benin. We are glad that the Monoba himself has condemned the act, and my guests are against it, but they want speedy investigation, arrest, and prosecution. But let's get to the thought of Apostle Elvis Agbonaima. Yes. How do we ensure, you've spoken at length on the role of the religious leaders, but don't you think there are other ways too? Is it that the youths are jobless, or what do you think could be responsible for youths being used to perpetrate evil, crime during election period?
Okay. We are not in the Banana Republic.
Okay.
I respect His Excellency Godwin Obaseki.
Okay.
But he needs to be proactive.
Okay.
There are people in this state who believe that they are more powerful than even the governor. Therefore, those people need to be attended to. If we want peace, because the reason why some of the things that are happening, and the reason why it's happening, there are people that the law that need to be cautioned because they are just be left to do anything they like, and therefore that's why you are seeing what you are seeing now. I think the governor, to me, is doing his best, but he needs to be proactive. There are people that need to answer some call. There are people that who see themselves that they believe that every day.
But don't you think that is the role of security agencies?
If the security apparatus is not active the way it ought to be, the government can speak to them. Because if the governor reacts, the reason why so many of these things are happening, because the governor, to me, is becoming too a little bit calm. No. Even the Bible says, right from the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent one take it by force. In other words, we are not talking about war. If you want peace, there are some actions you need to take. There are some people you know that they will instigate crisis. You allow the course, the law to take its course. Because there are many people now that is just left to do whatever they feel like doing. That's why they are followers. Even as a servant of God, there's a way you begin to do things, even the Spirit of God will respond to you. He gives you a sign to be, he cautions you. You get it now. Now, there are people that need to be cautioned. There are people that are seeing themselves as if they are, we only, for God's sake, we have just one governor in Edo State. It's a taboo. To me, is unheard of for what happened, what transpired, just on Saturday here. Why did those kind of things happen? Because these people feel they can do anything. Now, we have maybe federal might. Let me use that one.
No.
Or we have somebody backing it.
No, we do not know those who did it until the police, releases.
Okay, let me use the word. Some people said they just feel that there is somebody, backing them up. They can do anything from any side.
It's left for the police.
Therefore, those kind of people, the police have to do their work so that we have peace in this state. Because when there is peace in Edo State, every other thing will drive. But when there is crisis, even the church will not be able to do service. It's true.
Yeah.
That's why the clergy, every one of us have to speak out now.
Okay.
We should drop sentiment aside.
Okay.
We should talk to our people. We should let them know that your life is at stake.
Okay.
Because if crisis comes, if you release, for example, when there is crisis, you don't know who will be a victim.
Yeah, you don't
therefore we have to speak now. We have to be careful now. Yeah. When you throw stone to the market, the stone can hit anybody. It can even hit your mother. It can even hit the
stone. So you must avoid throwing the stone.
Because we don't want crisis in those days. What we want is free and fair election.
Thank you, Apostle. Your parting words, Barrister Patrick, your parting words.
Yes, all we need is justice to get peace. I think I expect the governor to do more because the chief commissioner of police is head of the police, but the governor is chief security of the states. He's in charge. Whereby the police want to guide us to say action to maintain their name, and the governor say no, don't cool down.
You seem to be concentrating on Edo State.
No, I mean,
other parts of
where I'm looking at the case study.
There's going to be election in Ondo.
But I'm looking at
the case study. We avoid
I think it's the same thing. The chief security officer of the state is the governor.
Okay.
When the commissioner wants to carry certain action to maintain his name, in the agreement of the police, the governor will tell you, don't, leave. The policeman will have no choice. Because it's the chief security officer should be held responsible.
Thank you, Barrister Patrick.
But it's his directive that the CP will work with.
Thank you, Barrister Patrick. So I want to thank Barrister Patrick, a human rights activist, a legal practitioner, for his comments. I also want to thank Apostle Elvis Agbonaima, a clergyman, and of course, he said he's a youth, and I think the youth will listen to him and shun violence. This election must be peaceful. That is their submission on this week's edition of 60 Minutes. It's an abridged version because we need to air an educational program to educate those who are home because of COVID-19 protocols and all that. Schools are yet to open. Okay, my name is Egosa Agbola. I do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.